Aloha, everybody. I miss you so much. Well, this space, Coffee Break with Maria, is happening every week normally, but we have so much content happening, so many events happening that actually sometimes you need a pause from your own events, and that's crazy. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, starting November. November is a month that is going to be dedicated to all content creators out there. That means people like me, like yourself, that you host events, that you think what to write in that post, what to do to increase my followers, how to convert all this into sales. All of these questions that we normally have as an entrepreneurs and as business owners, even within bigger companies that have teams dedicated just to create content, wonder about these topics. And we want to specialize this month on these type of topics by showcasing one of our experts. Just a little recap for those who don't know what is that little logo that we have there in the right corner. In the right corner, yes. We are the expert pool. We're more than 40 experts ready to help entrepreneurs and businesses with their current challenges. You name it. We have more than 10 different categories. And actually, marketing content creation is a really strong category within our pool. And that's why today we want to show everything you need to know in regards to creating content that matters with our local expert, Emil. So I'm going to do a little introduction, and then we're going to just take it from there. It's live for a reason, people. So if you're watching this now or later, please post your questions via comments. So I take a sip, and we get started. So welcome to Emil. Yay.
Hi, thank you for the super nice introduction.
Yes, that was a long intro.
Yeah,
I
it's
hope
great.
I didn't took a lot of your thunder.
No, it was really great. It came out very fluent, so
Thank,
impressive.
thank, thank you, Emil. So we have been doing this for a while with all of our experts, and you. I also want to officially welcome you into our expert pool. You're one of the new experts, and
Yeah,
actually we have been working and busy with different types of projects so far, and
yeah,
they're all about content. So it's really, really important to, put this curtain away and show the background of what it takes, what it takes you specifically as a storyteller expert to create that content, to make something
yeah,
that really sticks. Now that also because or due to COVID-19, we're bombarded more than ever with content. Social is exploding, virtual events are exploding. People are like, another event, please no. So we
yeah.
want to really stay more quality over quantity and see what is this about. So let's first do a little introduction of yourself and then get started with our questions. Cool.
All right, cool, thanks. Yeah, so I'm Emil, I'm Dutch. I am currently in the Netherlands as well. Normally, I live in Asia, in Indonesia, actually. But due to COVID, now I am in the Netherlands for a while, since August, and I am planning on going back to Indonesia in November, by the end of this month. And yeah, um, I started working my professional career. I started working at a startup studio where I worked with different types of clients, mainly larger multinational corporations, such as Booking.com, Robeco, which is a fund manager here in the Netherlands, and other kinds of companies, very diverse. And from that moment, I was working with social media platforms and other kinds of digital platforms on a very experimental way, because we were startup builders, so we did not have large budgets, but we had a lot of creativity, and we tried to uh, yeah, with like a growth hacking mindset, basically, with less money still achieve big results. And yeah, that's how we got really creative, and I learned a lot about social media platforms. And I was working with a lot of different kind of social media platforms in the beginning, mostly Facebook, later also Instagram, LinkedIn. Now I would say Instagram is my go-to platform. And what I've learned is about how platforms work and how you can really use technical knowledge to your advantage without being too technical yourself. So that's very helpful. But all the time, every strategy comes or yeah, is successful or not, and it depends on the quality of the content in the end. Everything, and that's also for SEO or advertisement. The quality of the content depends, and then a good strategy can really accelerate you. But if the content is shit, it will never do
complete.
anything for you.
We'll never do anything, right?
Yeah, you can have beautiful strategies, you can have a lot of advertising budget, but if what you put through it is not resonating with the people that see it, it just is not going anywhere. So that's why I decided that I really was interested in doing more with content, learning more about content, and understanding what works and what doesn't work. And from there, I looked at different kinds of content creation, content curation as well, because that can also be a very effective content marketing strategy. And then, I think I came down to a point where it was really okay, can become a very professional designer, or you can to make visual content, or you can become a professional writer in a more journalist way, doing research and really write informative pieces, or go more towards copywriting, storytelling, and that's what I love most actually. And that's when I just decided to really specialize in storytelling. And that's so that's what I've been doing now for a while.
Nice and super great intro as well, because
Thank
it
you.
also gives us the backstory on how you became to do what you do, because many times it's like, yeah, I'm a marketer, I'm doing this or that. And then when you realize what really makes the difference within your own industry and you understand how it connects with who you are, that's when magic happens, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's great that you also mentioned that you can have whatever, advertising budget and a good strategy, but if your content is not good, as you said, if your content is shit, you are not going to accomplish anything, And we want to really put that's why we always say marketing content is king. And that's why all content creators are busy understanding how to tell stories that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So during this time today, we're going to basically reply to many questions. I will give you the overview so you can stay with us as well. And I like to put this banner. So yes.
Yeah.
Please make sure that you hop on into the conversation now or later, because this video is playing around different social media groups and our own channels, and we want to listen to your own challenges, your own dilemmas.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be taking you through some questions that we have prepared, but of course you're welcome to share your own cases or questions. Okay?
Yeah.
So we have a first question, actually. Good. From Belen. So Belen, also member of Expert Pool. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Legal, GDPR type of girl. Hi, Belen. How are you? She's in Spain. She's in Barcelona, one of my favorites.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So that's a nice introductory, of course, question, because we're going to be covering what makes content good. And we're going to be covering also, you have a formula to follow to create good content. Wow. We have many. So you want the secret sauce already, Belen?
Directly.
Let's see. Directly. Oh, give me a secret formula. Don't talk too much.
Yeah.
Good. I like it. We're going to go and answer to your question as well.
Yeah.
Just a recap of what we're going to be covering today. So why is nobody replying to my post? How do I make my content more valuable, relevant to my audience? I don't know what to post. That's a typical question that we get from all business owners. How do I get more followers on Instagram? Also booming question now. How come my content doesn't sell? Why is it not converting? So this, plus all your questions, is what we're going to be replying today. And we're going to also talk of the secret sauce. If you stay all the time, Belen, we're going to give you a secret sauce, maybe. So let's get started. Let's first start with replying. First of all, let's talk before that about the importance of storytelling and having a consistent. Why is it important? Why is it important to think about content in general, about the quality of the content?
Yeah. So, well, the importance of content is it's easy. People are looking for companies, for brands, for creators, for whatever they're looking online. And if you do not exist online, you don't exist at all. And this is not 100% true yet, although for many people it is, especially if you're an online service provider, you don't have a physical product, but you have a service, then you really need to be visible. You need to be easy for people to discover and to get to know about you, what you're doing. There's a Dutch saying, and That's as if nobody knows you, nobody can go with you. And that's very true in this case. So it's really just being out there, being visible. That's one of the most important goals of content marketing. And then if people know you, the next step is that they can decide when they see you, and that's where storytelling is especially good at. When they see personality and they see how you work, your approach, you as a person, people will decide whether they like you or not, whether they're interested in getting to know more about you. So that's the second step. And then the third, super important for any business, especially online again, because there's a lot of not so nice stuff going on online. Also, it's very hard for people to see, okay, who can I trust, who can I not trust? And if you share more content, you repeatedly show up on people's feeds on Instagram, for example, you build trust. People get to know you, they get to like you, and eventually they get to trust you. And that's all needed before they can do anything with you, before they will do anything with you. And that also is directly, that takes time. So that for the last question, we will get to that later again as well. How come my content doesn't sell? Content marketing is a long-term strategy. And in my opinion, it soon will be the only strategy. But it is also a long-term strategy. There's no quick wins in content marketing.
So keep it real, be consistent, Actually, I have to also say, because we're doing these coffee breaks with experts, because we're doing all these things, as soon as you stick to something and just make it happen in a consistent way, you will create an audience and you will create attention, and eventually you have clients and you get nice partnerships, like actually what we're doing right now. So that's how we met. We met on social, and we met thanks to what the social, content that we're posting there that didn't come across like more noise, It's like, oh, this guy is doing something that I like. Or we're doing these events that people like and think, oh, if they have all these experts, they can help us with this. So for us, apart from being a strategy to maybe converting to sales later, maybe do business together, we're also thinking about how to add value to business owners that day-to-day struggle with these topics, So let's start with the most, like when we prepared this session, we talked about what are the most frequently asked questions that people give you, And one of the typical ones is, why is nobody replying to my posts? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so I think, why is nobody replying to my post, and the value of post, which is the next question. It really comes, the answer is really close, and these questions are related to each other, because the thing is, when people think of content creation or writing something or making a video or whatever, they start with, what shall I write about, or what shall I produce now? But actually, that's not really the starting point, because you're not creating content for yourself. You're creating content for the people that you seek to serve, for your audience. And that's the starting point. So understanding who you're writing or producing content for, that's the first question. And if you know what problems they have, what challenges they have, what they are facing, how their day looks like, what frustrates them, then you know what you can write content about, because then you write content about something that helps them. And if you produce content like that, so somebody, for example, I'm writing about, if I would offer a service about Facebook advertising, it's very popular now. Then I would maybe, my target audience could be like entrepreneurs. So I can write how to install a Facebook pixel. Very relevant, because people need to know how to do that themselves. They want to start advertising themselves. So then you can write content about that, installing your Facebook pixel in 3 steps or whatever. And then you just explain people how to do it. Now that's relevant, because that's something that people need to know. And if then there are questions, if something's not clear to them, or if they still face another problem, that's when people are starting to respond to your content. So relevant, that's understanding your customer.
100% is relevance or value is 100% connected to your audience, not to you as a business. And it sounds so obvious, like, hello, it's not about you, it's about your audience.
Yeah.
And people make it all over again, like this same mistake about what do I have to say. So in my case, I will be talking 10,000 hours about how I have a lot of experts to help entrepreneurs. Okay, but how can I specifically help you with
Yeah.
our experts, right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And when I'm talking to clients about storytelling, I always like to give examples of movies, because everybody knows the famous movies like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, these kind of movies. So, for example, Lord of the Rings, I always tell companies like with content marketing and actually with business in general, storytelling as well, whatever, you are not Frodo in the story. You are Gandalf. Your target audience is Frodo. You are helping them to reach their goals. So produce content from that perspective. And that's a complete different perspective, different mindset behind creating content than if you think that you are the hero of your story. Because
Yes.
so
So that's part of a, like we're
yes,
basically giving the secret sauce to Belen little by little. Huh? So step one, think about who's your audience, what are their pain points, what's the goal, so you can help them
yeah,
to get there, right? So in
definitely.
that sense, when people ask really frequently, I don't know what to post, how to provide business owners that are watching this right now, all entrepreneurs that are thinking, what's the framework? Okay, so I get my audience, I get what they need, or I simply ask them what they are looking for, yeah,
Yeah.
and then what happens?
Well, first, it's important to have a clear understanding of what the goal is that your customers have. What do they want to reach, or how does their future reality look like? And then where are they now? So what obstacle is on their path towards reaching their future reality, or their dreamed future reality? And then, as an
Mhm.
expert, you should know why that obstacle exists and how he or she can overcome this obstacle and move further towards somebody's goal or dream destination or future, whatever. So
Okay.
yeah, it's important for you to understand what's the goal, where are they now, and what are all the little things that are in between. So what I would do is I make a list, and if I want to, somebody wants to sell more online courses, for example. Let's stick with the example of the Facebook advertising service provider. So somebody wants to sell more online, and now that person has a shop, but he's not selling anything. So there's a lot in between there. Then Facebook advertising can be a vehicle for that person to sell more, so to reach that desired future state. Then you're thinking, okay, if somebody is maybe considering Facebook advertising as a way to reach his dreamed future reality, what now is, what objections does somebody have? What's on that person's path before successfully implementing Facebook advertisement? So, and then you can just list all the challenges, all the obstacles that somebody will have, and that's just all your posts basically to start with. So I don't know how to install Pixel. I don't know. I don't have enough budget. I don't know where to get images for the ads. I don't know how to install it. I don't know how to target. I don't know who to target. So you get all these little things, and that's just all short posts, and it can then be either videos or whatever. Yeah.
It's so important that you put it that simple, because normally when we think about marketing or content strategy, people think that they need to take basically a lot of time away to really think about it, and it's almost when you are levitating and have a document that is like 20 pages long, then you can do something. And it's not like that, right? It's so actionable what you're mentioning right now.
Yeah.
It's just having a clear understanding on who you are as a business and what type of need, you're trying to reply to, basically.
Exactly. And to make it even more practical, what I like to do when I write a post, I think about one specific person that is in my target audience. And I think as if I'm talking to that person, but then instead of speaking, I just write it out. And that way I know that I use the words that he or she understands, that the post is relevant to that person, and therefore probably relevant to more people like her. And yeah, and that makes it so easy, so tangible and actionable to write a good post. So
Yeah.
that's
You
yeah,
just described what a buyer persona is or a brand
yeah.
archetype.
Well, by how you really produce your content for that
Yeah,
person. Yeah,
for that specific profile, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Okay, so let's help Belen, who's here, with her questions. I would like to make it more actionable to her case as well, because she's talking about what's the secret sauce. But I
Yep.
want to actually focus on her case because
All right.
she is a lawyer specialized on privacy, policy, GDPR, all of these things. And she
Mhm.
really has an international focus. So she already has some clients in the US. And you see, I know who's watching us. Wow, Belen. So
Very
this
good.
is
Yeah.
Belen who's watching us now, and she's asking, in her case, what makes that content good? In the same way that you were exposing the example of the Facebook ads, company.
Yeah.
How can we help people that are in that situation? Because she is
Yeah.
like, first of all, selling something that is complex for people to understand.
Yeah.
Like GDPR. Okay, I have to do it because it's mandatory. It's law, so people think I need to do something about it. But how it can connect? She's
Yeah.
laughing right
Well,
now. I want to know.
yeah, there's
I'm
a couple of, so one major mistake that a lot of service providers make is that there's like two segments. Is it done for you or do it yourself? What her audience wants. So does she offer the service or does she teach people how to use a
So,
service?
Belen, do you teach or do you do it yourself? It's mandatory, but okay. She wants to make it simple and she wants to keep it simple, but she offers the service of writing the privacy policy and writing that as a lawyer because she is a lawyer, so she's
Okay.
offering the
Okay.
service. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a bit different kind of content that you create then, because what uh, people need to be aware that is really important, and that is really important that it's done by a professional. Because
Mm-hmm.
if people are if they don't understand the importance, or if they think, oh, I can just write it, or I can just take a template from a free website and do it like that, that's what you're.
Typical. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what people need to understand, and that's the goal of your content. And that means not explaining how it works, but explaining why it is important. That's the most important thing, because yeah, that's leading to your sell. Otherwise, there's a mismatch in what you are selling and what
Okay.
you are saying. Yeah.
So, what happens
So
when you do both? When you teach people how to do something, and when you need, as an expert, to do it yourself? In her
yeah, then
case,
you
she's
attract
doing
a lot.
both. Mhm.
Then you, when you do both, you attract a lot of people that you will never sell anything to, and that's not maybe not a problem, but
Uh-huh.
why? Yeah.
Exactly.
So
So it's better to focus on one or to have a different strategy on selling things that people can do themselves, guided by you as an expert, versus what you have to do as a service provider,
yeah,
right? Okay. So yeah. So in that case, when you think about what content or how come my content doesn't sell, that, for what I understand, what you're saying is because you have a lack of focus. You're selling many different things. And second, because you are talking to a lot of people in a really broad way without understanding who your client is, who you're
yeah.
talking to.
And that's a nice question to go a little bit deeper into that, because understanding who you are talking to, your customer goes through different stages before he actually becomes your customer. That's the customer journey. So first, somebody needs to be aware that you exist and what you are doing, and aware of whether they like you or not, and that they trust you or not. So when people are
Mhm.
going through that awareness stage and the appeal stage, then slowly they're moving towards a stage in which they want to act. But there's different kind of content for people who are about to act, or people who are about awareness. Because in the awareness stage, you want to target people who feel the problem, and they need to know that you are a possible solution to their problem. So people who are making a new website and they don't have a privacy policy yet, or they're selling new kind of products, or they sell internationally for the first time, where different privacy rules apply. So that's really, those people need to be aware that you exist, and you do that with social media content, high level, not too much detail, just showing that you are there, that you're a professional, and that you can help with that problem. And then if you go through the journey, if people get to know you a bit better, they need to see proof. They want to see reviews, for example, or case studies that you have successfully done this before. But it doesn't help you to send this kind of social proof content to people who don't know you before. So you want to keep those two separated. And yeah, that depends on the channels which you use. It's very easy in Instagram, for example, you can always say, or LinkedIn or Facebook actually as well. Timeline, that's where you reach most people that are not following you. So most people that don't know you yet. So that's for high level awareness kind of content. And then you see the people who start to follow, they know you, they have seen your content, they have seen your profile, and they think this is interesting, I want to know more. Then when you have the stories placement on those social platforms, that's 90, maybe more than 90% of people who are following you. So that's people who are already further down the journey and who are more interested in seeing social proof and getting more details about your services and more call to actions towards working with you, maybe.
Okay, so first advice, do not start any interaction by selling something.
No, that doesn't work
That
because
simply doesn't work.
nobody's going to Instagram and say, let's see what I want. I want to buy something. Let's go to Instagram. If they have an intention to buy, they go to Google and they search for what they want. So Instagram is not as direct like that. It's just building relations up slowly, working on trust, working on relation, and then having some soft call to actions to make an appointment with somebody, for example. So this is what I can do for you. If you're interested, send me a DM, we can make an appointment and we can talk about your situation and if I can help you or not. So yeah, it goes step by step. And your timeline content is not going to sell, but it is going to help you to attract your audience to follow your page and to move through that customer journey. Maybe start watching your stories. And then if they watch your stories, you know, hey, these people are a bit further down my customer journey. These people might be interested in seeing a review or a case study or something like that.
100%. And talking about increasing your followers on Instagram, which is really common platform, or even Facebook, what's your recommendation? Once you recognize that people are coming back to you, how do you just increase those followers organically? I mean, without any payment.
Well, the first important thing is that you really know who your customers are. You have done your research, you're making good content, and then you want to start to measure your content. And you measure the quality of your content in terms of engagement. And how you do that is you look at the actual reach, so not the amount of followers that you have on your page, but the actual reach of a post. So if you go to View Post Insights, you can see how many people did I reach, and then you can take the sum of all the engagements. So you have likes, comments, saves, shares. That's the engagements that you can see. There's also other ways of engagement, but or you take the sum and then you calculate what kind of percentage of the total reach engaged with your content. Good content has an engagement reach of 10, 15 or higher percent, something like that.
Good. For everybody who has an existing Instagram, Facebook account that you're already putting yourself out there, I think that is a really recommended advice to talk to Emil, who is our expert of the month. We always have like an expert in the spotlight, and you are the one for November, Emil. So what we're going to be doing, because you are going to really help people, and not everybody has the time to go through massive events, we also have exploratory calls, free calls, one-on-one. So I advise everybody, we're going to post it in comments, to book a session with Emil to check where you are standing. Where are you? Are you really in the beginning of just creating your channels, or you're already in the frustration of being there for 1 year or so, posting content that doesn't take you anywhere, and you basically need to have an expert check you on strategy and how to move forward, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so that's important because we have like almost some seconds to finish this coffee break.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. So I just want to wrap it up as well, like saying that these are some tips to get started, but that we can also, provide you with that call to have one-on-one, one-on-one checkup, because it's so important to see how is this relevant to your business. And we understand that it's not the same, to sell nice coffee online than to provide advice on GDPR, right, Belen?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to thank you for this. I want to know if there's any last questions. We can take it from here, Emil. It's great. We're going to continue doing things together by the end of the month. We're going to also have an announce soon our master class. What is the master class about?
About this kind of things that we have been talking about right now. There's actually two different ones. One is really about content marketing strategically, a bit like how we have been talking about this right now. Goes a bit deeper into depth on some points, quite a bit actually, especially on understanding your customers and really, understanding how you really connect your content to their limiting beliefs on quite a deeper level, so you can really change people's perspective and attract them to you. And the other one is about storytelling. And what's really important and interesting about storytelling, I'll keep it short, is that you see a lot of people sharing information, and there's like an information overload on Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you go. So how are you actually going to stand out? And that's with content that does not only inform people, but actually makes people feel something emotionally, really inspires people, and makes you stand out as a person or a brand. So that's what the storytelling is about.
Perfect. We are going to have enough time to talk about it throughout the months. I want to thank you. Thank everybody who's watching now, especially Belen, and everybody who's going to be watching later this video. So please continue posting your questions via comments. We're going to keep an eye on it and stay in touch. Thank you, Emil, for this space. And everybody, have an amazing weekend. And I wish you a really amazing month full of relevant content. So please make sure that reach out. We're here to help you and to make something amazing together. Thank you. Have a nice evening there in the Netherlands.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. It was really nice to do, and I hope it has helped somebody.
Really. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.